Hey everyone, Kyle Anderson here, the Associate Pastor at the Presbyterian Church of Lawrenceville. This week, the lectionary includes a familiar story, familiar to most of us, I think. It's the story of Doubting Thomas, and it's read this same Sunday, the first Sunday after Easter every year. And I think that we're all probably pretty familiar with this text, or at least I'm assuming that we are. But as I read that story this week, the part of it that really caught my attention wasn't all of the stuff that had to do with Thomas at all, but rather it was what the disciples were doing at the beginning of that story. And so according to the Gospel of John, it was still the first day of the week. It was still Easter, right? And that evening, the author of John's Gospel tells us that the disciples were behind closed doors because they were afraid. And it was while they were there in that room that Jesus appeared to them. This sounds a lot like our Easter, doesn't it? Behind closed doors, afraid of the coronavirus, afraid of getting sick, or afraid of getting someone else sick. But even though the doors were locked, Jesus stood among the disciples. Jesus stood among us. And while he was there, he said to the disciples, "Peace be with you." And then he breathed on them, and he said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." Now, of course, that idea of breathing on someone is kind of a catchphrase right now. But maybe there's something more to that, right? You might remember a couple of weeks ago in one of these encouraging word videos, I talked about that Hebrew word, ruach, that word for breath or for spirit. Here in Greek, it's the word pneuma, but it's the same word, right? Jesus is not just giving them the Holy Spirit, but he's breathing new life into their lungs. This Easter may be unlike any Easter that we've ever experienced, but know this. There is no quarantine, there's no sheltering in place, there's no virus that can keep Jesus in the grave. Even though we are afraid, even though nothing feels normal about this Easter, even though we can't be together to celebrate, God is with us. Every breath that we take is a reminder that Christ is risen and that we, by God's grace and by the Holy Spirit, have been given new life with him. Happy Easter. Hope that you stay safe and healthy. Take care.